The sixth episode of The Wheel of Time begins with a flashback to 95 years earlier, when Liandrin gives birth to her baby boy. She names him Liandrin. Liandrin imprisonment in a small dark cell, holding her crying infant in her arms. She tries to soothe him by whispering that he dislikes crying, casting nervous glances toward the door. Just as the baby quiets down, her husband and another man enter the cell, demanding that she surrender the child. Liandrin refuses, and when one of them attempts to attack her, she uses her powers to kill them both. She flees the cell and dashes into the city, pleading desperately for help, but no one heeds her cries. Exhausted, she collapses beneath a statue. Moments later, a man's voice calls out to her. It is Ishmael, one of the most powerful of the Forsaken. Taking her hand, he assures her that he will help. In the present, Lanfear visits Liandrin in her dreams. Within this dream, Liandrin holds the position of a Merlin seat. She tells Lanfear that she remained at the tower for as long as she could. However, Lanfear is curious about her presence in Tenchiko. She questions Liandrin about whether she is working for Raven, another member of the Forsaken. Liandrin insists that the Black Aja was solely loyal to Ishmael, but now that he is dead, their allegiance is uncertain. Lanfear suspects that Liandrin is attempting to sow discord among the Forsaken and warns her that she is playing a perilous game. As Liandrin kneels at Lanfear's feet, Lanfear informs her that one of the Black Aja has been swayed by Raven, and she commands Liandrin to eliminate her. Liandrin then speaks to the other members of the Black Aja about the shackled man. This individual is a man capable of channeling, controlled by two Aes Sedai through a pair of bracelets and a collar. Liandrin possesses one of the bracelets, while the other is believed to be in Tenchiko, though its exact location remains unknown. She tells the women that they must locate both the bracelet and the collar by the following day, or else their master will be displeased. Meanwhile, Moghedien lurks in the shadows, silently eavesdropping on Liandrin's discussion with the other Black Aja, biding her time until the opportune moment to act. Meanwhile, Nynaeve, Mat, Min, and Elaine prepare to track down Liandrin in Tenchiko. Dressed in disguises and keeping their faces concealed to avoid recognition, they blend into the crowd. While their mission includes searching for the objects, their primary goal is to reach Liandrin before she can harness the artifact's power to aid their enemies. While Nynaeve and her group continue their search for Liandrin, Moiraine and her companions press forward on their journey after their visit to Ruidien. Egwene, still shaken by the harrowing dream she experienced, approaches the Wise Ones and confesses that she entered the dream world alongside Moiraine. The Wise Ones are furious at her for doing so, but Egwene insists that she wants to stop Lanfear in Tel'aran'rhiod. However, they inform her that she cannot confront Lanfear in Tel'aran'rhiod itself, but within her own dreams, she does possess the power to take action. Meanwhile, Moiraine encounters Lanfear within her dream, where Lanfear questions her about what she witnessed in Ruidien. Moiraine remains tight-lipped, refusing to reveal anything, which leads Lanfear to assume that Moiraine is cooperating with her solely to avoid being killed. Their conversation concludes with Lanfear cryptically informing Moiraine that she is sending a surprise for Rand al'Thor and expects him to handle it. At the same time, Rand al'Thor is spending time with the people of the tribe, gradually building strong relationships with them. Alcera proudly shows Rand her squash plant, while Aviendha takes him on a tour of the town. At one point, Rand unknowingly picks up Alcera's spear, unintentionally disrespecting her. The young girl tells him that he can only make amends for his toe by harvesting her garden when it ripens. Meanwhile, Perrin is in dire need of healing, but Alanna is too unwell to assist him. After a somewhat successful attempt at rescuing the Coffin family, Perrin is left badly wounded. Naturally, the first thought would be to seek out an Aes Sedai for healing. Unfortunately, Alanna herself has been struck by multiple crossbow bolts and is unable to heal either herself or anyone else. Elsewhere, Mat spreads word in a bar about the bracelet and its matching collar that they need to locate, promising a handsome reward in return. He later meets Tom Merrilin, who is far from pleased to see him. Tom tells Matt that he can no longer offer any assistance, as it has already cost him too much. However, Matt persuades him by offering money, a drink, and the tail of the horn, ultimately convincing him to join. Meanwhile, Nynaeve and Min spend some time together, during which Min tries to get Nynaeve to loosen up. At one point, Min deceives a man by telling him that he is destined to marry an Aes Sedai, when in reality, she is actually going to kill him. This ruse is merely a tactic to lure people into conversation, allowing them to extract valuable information. Egwene is still struggling to figure out how to stop Lanfear in her dreams. She enters her dream world with the Wise Ones, who instruct her to push them out of her dream as a test of her abilities. At first, she fails, but after persistent effort, she finally succeeds in forcing them out. However, things take a turn for the worse when she, too, is abruptly ejected from her dream and finds herself chained to a monument resembling a wheel. Before she can react, Lanfear appears, confronting her about what she witnessed in her last dream and asking whether she enjoyed it. Egwene firmly states that Rand al'Thor does not know Lanfear's true reality, to which Lanfear counters that he does. Refusing to back down, Egwene warns that if Rand ever learns that Lanfear has harmed her, he will never forgive her. In response, Lanfear places a hand around Egwene's neck, and in that instant, Egwene is jolted awake. The Wise Ones urge her to remain strong, assuring her that only through resilience can she hope to defeat Lanfear. While Egwene attempts to re-enter the dream world, Moiraine and Rand have a conversation. Their discussion centers on the Sarkhanen, with Moiraine warning Rand that if she submits to its power, it will be too much for her to bear. She then asks him how he manages to control such immense power. Rand explains that it is not about submission. One of the most important lessons he has learned is that the Aes Sedai do not know everything about the power. He tells her that he has had to fight the power constantly, and if he hadn't, he would not have survived this long. To illustrate his point, he demonstrates a small portion of what he is capable of. Meanwhile, Perrin, still recovering from his injuries, receives healing aid from a poultice prepared by the wisdom of two rivers. Sitting by the fire, he and Fael share an intimate conversation, one filled with vulnerability. Fael opens up about her past, revealing the events that led her to become a hunter of the Horn. She recounts how her brother's death and her mother's revelation as a dark fiend shaped her path. At the same time, a group of newly arrived White Cloaks volunteers to assist in dealing with the trouble brewing in Two Rivers. For the first time this season, Padan Fain makes an appearance, aligning himself with the White Cloaks. He assures them that he can aid their war against the people of Two Rivers. As the episode draws to a close, an army marches toward Two Rivers, signaling that the time for war has come. Elsewhere, Liandrin uses a weave to extract information about the collar from Naomu before ultimately killing her. Perrin and Alanna are both gravely injured. While Perrin desperately needs healing, Alanna is too wounded to help him. However, the two young girls whom Perrin previously saved arrive to visit Alanna, offering their assistance. Under Alanna's guidance, they channel their healing powers to restore her. As she recovers, she remarks to Maxim that she had always suspected there were channelers hidden in the mountains. Meanwhile, on the other side, Perrin finally opens up about the pain of losing his wife, Layla, in the tragic accident he caused. He also reveals his wolf brother nature, explaining that this is the reason behind his golden eyes. Fael is unbothered by either revelation, but her mood shifts when Perrin confesses that he knows exactly where the Horn of Valor is, and that his friend, Matt, has already blown it. However, the tension eases when Perrin silences her with a kiss, and it lightens further as Fael climbs onto his lap to continue it, at least until they are interrupted by Alanna and Maxim. Elsewhere, Matt acquires the second bracelet from a man who claims to have found it in his father's shop. In exchange, Matt gives him some money and then hands the bracelet over to Nynaeve. Tom shares information about the shackled man of Tenchiko. He warns Matt to stay away from Liandrin, and just as he is about to walk off, he spots Elaine and immediately recognizes her as the daughter heir of Andor. Unfortunately, one of the locals also recognizes her and presses a knife through her throat. Thinking quickly, Tom saves her by claiming that she is his apprentice and they sing a song together to prove that she is from Tanchico. The deception works, but trouble looms as one of the Black Aja discovers Nynaeve and Min's presence in Tanchico. This information reaches Moghedien, who mercilessly tortures and kills the woman to extract every detail she overheard. Moghedien then turns her attention to Nynaeve and Elaine, using an enchantment to manipulate them into revealing what they know. Under her spell, they obey her every command. However, when Moghedien attempts to take the bracelet from Nynaeve, something within her resists, almost as if she can sense what is happening. Unfortunately, her resistance is not enough, and Moghedien successfully takes the bracelet for herself, once again leaving Elaine and Nynaeve empty-handed. At the very least, they still have one advantage. Moghedien does not know Rand's whereabouts. Before leaving, Moghedien tells Elaine that Ravin wants her dead, but admits that she personally finds both of them useful. As a final act, she wipes their memories before departing, leaving behind a dazed and bloodied Nynaeve. Meanwhile, Egwene attempts to confront Rand, but his response is a half-hearted apology. He insists that there are things she simply does not understand and wishes she could. Honestly, Rand is getting more frustrating by the day. He accuses Egwene of caring only about the Wise Ones since they arrived in the Isle Waste and of not caring about him at all. Egwene, in turn, starts to believe that Rand is already losing his sanity. Rand responds that if thinking that makes her feel better, then she should go ahead and believe it. He then tells her the harsh truth. She never truly wanted him, only the dragon reborn. Egwene then asks if Rand knew that Lanfear had been torturing her all this time. He claims he had no idea. Before their conversation can continue, they are suddenly ambushed by Samael. Could this be the surprise Lanfear was hinting at, or did Samael truly intend to kill Rand? As the attack unfolds, Rand and Egwene find themselves overwhelmed by Samael and his men. Just as it seems like Rand is about to take a devastating hit, Aviendha appears at the last moment, saving them from certain death. At the climax of Episode 6, Rand is forced to wield his power to eliminate their attackers. However, using the one power comes at a devastating cost. While it successfully drives back their enemies, it also causes massive destruction. Most tragically, Alcera, who was in the building behind Rand, is killed in the chaos. Overcome with grief and unable to bear the thought of losing her, Rand desperately tries to bring her back to life using his power. It is Moiraine who finally steps in, stopping him from completely losing control in his anguish. The following morning, Fael is out on patrol with Bane and Chiad when they spot unusual movement near the Waygate. To their horror, an army of Trollocs and Darkfriends is flooding through. Watching the looming threat, Chiad grimly remarks, "Soon, Golden Eyes will have to lead his people to war, whether he wants to or not." Final thoughts on Episode 6. Episode 6 of the Wheel of Time Season 3 is a turning point in the series, weaving together multiple storylines filled with tension, conflict, and crucial character development. This episode not only deepens the complexities of its characters, but also sets up major confrontations that will undoubtedly shape the season's climax. The flashback to Liandrin's past adds an unexpected emotional depth to her character. While she has long been portrayed as ruthless and unyielding, this glimpse into her tragic history, losing her child and being forced into desperate circumstances, offers a new perspective. Her loyalty to the Black Aja has always seemed unwavering, but Lanfear's interrogation suggests that the shifting power dynamics among the Forsaken may push her into even more dangerous territory. This uncertainty makes her arc one of the most intriguing to follow in the coming episodes. Egwene's struggle with Lanfear in the dream world is another standout aspect of the episode. It highlights not only Egwene's growing power, but also her vulnerability against such a formidable enemy. Her ability to push the Wise Ones out of her dream initially seems like a victory, but the terrifying encounter with Lanfear that follows proves that she still has a long way to go before she can truly face her. The psychological warfare Lanfear wages against Egwene is chilling, and the implications of this torment could have lasting consequences on Egwene's mental state and her role in the war against the Shadow. Rand's arc continues to showcase the burden of the dragon reborn. His argument with Egwene underscores how much he has changed since leaving the two rivers. His belief that no one truly understands him, coupled with his growing detachment, reinforces the tragic isolation that comes with his destiny. The attack by Samael and his forces serves as a brutal reminder that Rand is never truly safe. His desperate attempt to resurrect Alcera in the aftermath of the battle is a haunting moment, highlighting both the immense power he wields and the emotional toll it takes on him. Moiraine stopping him from completely losing control is crucial. Without her guidance, Rand could easily succumb to the overwhelming nature of the One Power. Meanwhile, the political and military tensions continue to escalate. Fael and Perrin's storyline not only explores their developing relationship, but also hints at the larger conflict brewing in the two rivers. The arrival of White Cloaks and the gathering of Trollocs near the Waygate confirm that a major battle is on the horizon. The growing presence of Dark Friends, including Paden Fane's reappearance, suggests that the Shadow's influence is spreading further than ever before. Perrin's leadership will be tested like never before, and whether he is ready or not, he must step up to lead his people in the coming war. Liandrin's subplot involving the Shackled Man and the missing bracelet adds another layer of urgency to the story. The fact that Moghedien is secretly observing and manipulating events from the shadows only reinforces how dangerous the Forsaken truly are. With one of the Black Ajah members already under Robin's control, the internal conflicts within the Shadow's ranks are just as deadly as those among the Light. The episode's conclusion leaves the audience on edge, with the revelation that an army of Trollocs and Dark Friends is moving toward the two rivers. The looming war, combined with the growing power struggles among the Forsaken, ensures that the next episodes will be filled with even greater stakes. Overall, Episode 6 delivers a masterful blend of action, emotional depth, and political intrigue. The show continues to balance character-driven storytelling with epic world-building, keeping viewers engaged as the battle between light and shadow intensifies. With Rand's struggle against his own power, Egwene's fight to stand against Lanfear, and the rising tensions in the two rivers, the Wheel of Time is building toward an explosive confrontation that will define the fate of its characters and the world they inhabit.